Hello, welcome to a new video. If you haven't watched my first YouTube video, make sure to do so you understand the vision and the plan of this YouTube channel. And yes, let's talk about today's video. It's gonna be a very important subject, and the subject is how to make studying more fun. And it's gonna be from a multinational medical student point of view, and I will cover some dilemmas and some problems with today's approach to studying and the education system, and I will share some good tips and tricks that I do and I think is maybe worth trying, and I will share them as we go along in the video. So let's get into it. Yes, so let's get into it. So we need to cover some important questions, and some of them are: why do studying feel hard? Why do people get a bad feeling when they think of school and studying? And I think a lot of you who've been studying can relate to these questions and feelings. Me personally, that been going through two different education systems. As I mentioned before, I'm a multinational person, and I've been studying more than half of my life, and it haven't been always sunshine and rainbows that I can tell, and it's been periods that I feeling so stressed, so almost depressed, to be honest, and it's not only me. Like, I could see a lot of my friends, a lot of people, class mate as well, that they was feeling down. They was trying to kind of run away and escape from studying at school. And I think it's very important that we talk and try to figure out how we can improve this and make it better, because a lot of our life is spending in schools and studying. So why not do it so we can enjoy and reduce the harm that it actually can bring to people. And as I already said before, why do our generation run away from books and school? It maybe sounds very harsh, but it's actually a reality that a lot of young people actually feel, and it's actually a sad reality that even if it happens to one young person, that's too much, because books and school, that's where we can actually build the new generation. We can actually make them ready for the next for the future. And if they feel bad and they actually trying to escape and run away from it, that means that something is really wrong, and that we need to really think about it. And my own personal aspect on this is that it's a mix of several complex that we humans need to cover and to think and try to redo things and remove things and update things. And I feel some people who've been studying, even years after, when they're done with studying, when they hear the words books and school, they still get a bad feelings. And just to get a little bit of medical aspect into it, it could maybe have some reasons, because in the human brain we have a part that is called the amygdala, and that is connected with the limbic system. And the limbic system is actually part of our memory, remembering. And this amygdala is more for emotions. And when, for example, an event happening and is combined with the emotion, it will actually make it so you remember the event way stronger. And I think if a lot of people actually have a bad feeling, it means that they relate books, school, and all that scenario with a lot of bad feelings that they had, probably because of the stress and depression and the system that kept them and was harming them. And I think we need to really sit down and try to figure out how we can change it. Yes, another important question is it our system or our approach that is lacking? This is a very important question, and I think that both of them are actually lacking. First of all, that the system is not operating in this new time, in this new age. It was good maybe for its time, but I think it's time to actually update it and remove some parts, add some new parts to it, because if we just think, when was this system formed and what was its main purpose? And one thing that we can clearly see is that the age that we're living in is the age of technology, and it is just advancing for each day that passing by. So we need for sure change the system, and for that we need to change our approach to the education in first place. Because if we don't, if we just try to work with the same approach or mindset with a new system, it won't work. So for it to work and for it to be a solution, we need to change our approach. And from together with the approach, we need to make a new system that can work for today and for tomorrow. Yes, we've been covering some important questions. Another important question is, what is the purpose of studying? And I think that's a question that a lot of us haven't really been thinking about. And even if we've been thinking about it, we maybe didn't really thought about what that really means. Because today's education and studying that we call studying and education is more of we're a human computer that are just filled with information, and we're just we're like a machine. And I think that's not really the way to go, and we need to use our human brain in way better ways, because just to fill something with information, we already have computers, we have memory sticks that can do it way better than us. So I think what we should learn and what we should do is give meaning to what we're trying to learn, and our vision should always be to create new stuff, to be our approach should always be a problem solving approach, and we should shift the focus from just trying to copy and feed our brain with information. And this is what I think personally, and I think with the time and with the technology advancing very fast, we need to shift our focus and give studying and education another important purpose, and its true purpose, because it won't work, in my opinion, if we're just gonna try to compete with filling our brains with information and don't really learn how to use it, how to question it, and we're limiting ourselves, and we're limiting the new generation with the way of studying and education system that we have today. Yes, another important question again, what can we do different? And I think the answer lay in the question, and I think that the first thing we should do is to accept that we are different, that one way of learning doesn't apply to all of us, that we doesn't. We need to honestly learn more about how the human beings working, how our brains working, and how we can improve our ways of studying in different ways and learning. Studying is maybe not the right word, but learning I think is a better word to use. And for example, some people maybe have easier learning by writing. Some people maybe are have it easier when they listening, and some others have easier when they do both of them, and some of them only learn maybe through actually doing it in action. So I think that's like a very important part that we have to cover and to think about. I know this is going to be a long process till we eventually change the whole system and do it in a way that everyone can fit in. But I don't think we can really get everyone in a system. We need different systems for different type of persons, because we are different. And that's something that we really need to think about, and that's something good. We shouldn't just try to categorize people as normal if they fit into the category, and if they don't, we call them not normal. And we actually have a lot of good examples from the history that we can use. For example, Edison, Newton, and some of these big scientists, if I call them. They was called dumb, and some of them was categorized as dumb even. So I think it's important that we think about this and try to understand that we don't need to be the same, because we are not. And that's, I think, is the first thing we can do. Yes, I've been talking a lot about the different dilemmas and problems, but yes, I'm gonna give some advice what we can do till we eventually can change the system that can be useful for studying. And this is the different ways that I've been doing. And as I said before, I've been studying for more than half of my life. And yes, I think we should use technology for our benefit. And I think technology can bring us a lot of good benefits, actually. We can use tools like Quizlet. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but it's if you just search on Quizlet.com, or in Google just type Quizlet, you can go there and make a profile, and there is a lot of different flashcards that people have been making about different areas. So for example, in medicine that I am studying, there's a lot of good content when it comes to Quizlet. And I think it's really good, because the way it is formed is that you can quiz yourself. You can it's like flashcards, and it's a digital form, and you can save them and you can use them in different platforms. Memrise is another app. You can have it on your phone and computer. Anki is the same, and all these apps that I've been talking about is good for memorization. It's good to quiz yourself, and I think it's super important to actually quiz yourself, because that's when when you really have to think, and when you're thinking, you will build more synapse that gonna stronger the process of learning. And another thing that I used to do a lot was actually record my voice, and I was listening to it when I was running or exercising, or when I was sleeping and just relaxing, honestly. And I think that's another good thing that we can do, because we need to. I think it's just smart to help the brain with the learning process through doing it in different ways. For example, our eyes is one, our hearing is another thing, and yes, and if you are not into digital, you can make flashcards, and I think that's another good thing. I used to do a lot of flashcards. I used to put them all over in my room, in the kitchen, even in the toilet. And lastly, something that I recommend is actually There is a lot of good content when it comes to education and studying in YouTube, for example. And the good thing is you can, and I think if you want to learn and understand something, you have to keep listen to the same video. And the good thing is that, okay, first time you watch it at the normal speed, but after that, next time you raise it and raise it and raise it. So now usually I listen to the 2.0x speed, and I'm actually used to it, and I feel like I'm saving time, and I think it's really good because it feels because psychologically you feel that it isn't as long, but same time it's been helping a lot, especially during this corona situation. A lot of these lectures have been in digital form, and I strongly recommend it, and I think it's worth a try. Yes, my friends, we are getting almost to the finish line, and this is the last thing that I want to talk about, and it's a very important part. It's let's together talk about it, and I think that's the first steps that we can do through talking and sharing and spreading the idea about that we need to bring a change to our system and way of our approach to studying. That's the first step we can do, because the system is made by us humans, and we can as well change it. But it's gonna only be possible if we actually get there ourselves and talk about it and really care and think about it, because at the end of the day, it's a very important subject that creating our future and our it's actually affecting the next generation a lot. And yes, I don't want to talk too much about this, but this is something that I burn for, and I think it's super important because, as I said before, I've been studying a lot of my life, and I want to share, I want to spread the awareness about this, because I've been in medicine, the depression rate is very high, and it shouldn't be like that, not only in medicine, but in studying in general. I feel that a lot of our time, energy are wasted because of different, because of system that isn't really working anymore, and our approach isn't really good anymore, in my opinion. And this was first video about this subject, and I will try to make more videos about this in future. I hope that the video have been helpful, and if you enjoyed and if you felt this video was something that gave you a meaning and was worth your time, please make sure to subscribe, share, and leave a comment. I actually want to hear what you that heard this thought and how I can get better and improve. And as I said before, I know this is something good, so I will do it. I'm decided, and I hope that I can change and I can bring change together with you guys for a better future and for a better, brighter generation. Thank you. Make sure to like and give a comment. See you on the next video.